Welcome to Oregon Cash Flow Pro. My name is James Barber. I'm here to help you maximize your cash flow. We are just coming off an amazing day on Friday of trading Tesla. What excitement. Over 220 million shares exchanged hands on Friday, making it the largest day in trading for any company in the S&P 500 history by dollar amount. Here's a quick look back on the way it finished up.
Whoa, there it is, guys. There's the spike. 653. Here we go. 655. Look at this. Here it is. This is what we were waiting for. 660. Now look at that go up. What is that spike? Somebody sold some for 695 at that spike. Son of a bitch. I should have held on. Ha! It's going up in the after hours. Look at that. 695. I should have held on to the after hours. How fun was that?
As you can see, we had a great time. I do live stream of the market each morning. We watch Tesla. We talk about any of the other exciting stocks that people are looking at. And sometimes, like last Friday, we just do the whole day in the market if there's a major event going on. So feel free to join us next time. What I wanted to talk about today was some of the concerns that I've got going into next week, some of the things that I'm seeing. I'm not licensed for securities, so don't take this as investment advice, but I wanted to share with you what I see as an active trader and the things that I'm going to be thinking about going into next week and what to watch out for. So please share what you think in the comment section below. It's through discussions and learning and expanding our knowledge by getting different viewpoints that I think we can all become better traders. So please share with me what you think, and let's get into this. Something I want all of you Tesla fans out there to know about is I am going to be giving away to a member of our Discord a Tesla Tequila bottle, preferably with the Tesla Tequila still in it. We'll see when it comes to shipping requirements for wherever the winner lives, or maybe I hand deliver it. Who knows? But I will be giving away a Tesla Tequila bottle. I promised this when the Tesla Tequila came out and I bought some. I said, one of these I'm going to be giving away when Tesla gets included in the S&P 500. Shortly after that, it was announced that they were included in the S&P 500. So the day of inclusion, that's when we're giving it out. So if you're interested, join by becoming a patron or a YouTube channel member, and that will get you access to our Discord server. Once you're in the Discord server, find the channel for the Tesla Tequila giveaway, and I look forward to seeing you in there. Best of luck. Now, we've had a lot of shares trading hands on Friday, but was that enough for all of the S&P 500 indexes to get in? It doesn't seem like it was quite enough. There could still be a small shortfall. I expect that if there is a shortfall, we will likely see those indexes buying in first thing Monday morning. Remember, it's the goal of these indexes to not have a tracking error with the S&P 500. So their interest is not in getting the best price for the share. They just need to get as close to the closing price Friday as they could get. One of the things providing liquidity in this time could be major short sellers. It's possible that they can borrow shares in order to sell to the index in the after hours. I think this is what happened on Friday, to sell to the index in the after hours, and then they buy those shares from retail investors and from other folks at a lower price. And then they repay the shares that they borrowed. So they're able to provide that extra liquidity needed for those indexes to buy in at 695. It almost doesn't get any better than that if you're a short seller. You can borrow a massive amount of shares, sell them at $695, and then buy in at 677, 680. I think the trading in the after hours was between 670 and 680, knowing that you've already sold those shares at 695. So you give those back to the person you borrowed from. The indexes get the liquidity that they need, and you make a pretty penny. In my mind, I think it's entirely realistic that the S&P 500 indexes are going to be complete. They will be done before the open of market on Monday. That leaves us with the benchmark index funds that still need to pick up shares. Because if we assume that the large bulk of the buying on Friday afternoon was the index funds that had to buy in. Most likely the benchmark index funds are going to wait in order to see the dip that almost always happens after a Tesla event. And that will give them the ability to provide some delta between them and the S&P 500. It's almost like free delta for them. You know that the price is going to come down from the 695 that they got in. As we see some dips coming in this next week, I expect those benchmark funds will start to buy in on those dips, providing support. So we probably won't see as big of a drop or as fast of a drop as we have in the recent past with Tesla. A number of factors for that, beyond just the benchmark funds buying in on each of those dips in order to get the delta that they want against the S&P, but also there's a lot less float on the market now. So we've got 16% less float. All of those shares are tied up in those indexes. And more of that will get tied up in those benchmark funds throughout the next week. You'll also end up with other funds that buy in right at the end of the year in order to just say that, yeah, Tesla's a part of our portfolio. Of course it is. They call that window dressing. It allows them to tell their clients that, yes, this exciting stock that you've been hearing about and everybody's talking about, it is a part of our portfolio. So what does that mean? I think there's a lot of people out there that are assuming Tesla will become less volatile now that the index funds have all bought into this. I think I'm on the opposite fence of this, at least in the short term. We got to see how this plays out. Because when you reduce the float and you have a company that is in high demand, that can actually increase the volatility. You've got people wanting to buy in as they get excited about this. And if there's less shares available, that's going to bump the price up. And as people are ready to start taking their profits from that, the price will come back down. So I do think we still have a lot of volatility ahead. Although I think it'd be hard pressed to be as volatile as it was in the past. I just don't expect much decrease from the volatility. And in fact, it is entirely possible that it could increase. So next week, we've got a few things working for us and a few things working against us. I think the overall anticipation for people that pay attention to Tesla realize that there is likely a drop coming. And it's going to be a pretty big drop, probably 10 to 20%. We could easily see under 600 at some point this next week. You got to figure that's after these benchmark funds have bought in. Or perhaps they see the same thing and they'll wait to see that drop under 600. Give them a substantial amount of delta. A lot of the conservative fund managers won't wait that long because they don't need to. They just need to beat the S&P by a little bit in order to look good. One thing that I did notice while we're paying attention to the news and we're monitoring this overall environment around Tesla is that just prior to Tesla being included in the S&P 500, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that the media was sowing around Tesla seemed designed to push that price down. They wanted that price to be down before the S&P inclusion. Notice the 695 selling price on close of Friday ended up being $5 under the most number of call options out there. I don't think that was a coincidence. There was a massive number of call options that would have put those shares into the hands of people other than the S&P 500. So I found that interesting to see it close at 695. Although one thing was pretty funny when I monitored Twitter and you see there was a lot of posts saying, what's your guess on where Tesla's going to end on Friday? A lot of people jokingly guessed 694.20. It's a play on 69 and 420. And it turns out they were pretty darn accurate, only 80 cents off. So I found that humorous. Now, back to the media FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we've been hearing about prior to the inclusion. The day of inclusion, that totally changed. We started to see a lot of positive stories about Tesla. And since then, over this weekend, what we're starting to see is a lot of the views of people who think Tesla's going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to look good. They've given the bull case for why Tesla is still something to be invested in and why it's not too late to get on board. So I find that very interesting. Anybody heard from Gordon Johnson? The media was giving him quite a bit of airtime last week when they wanted to push that share price down. And he's spouting his nonsense about Tesla only being worth $40 to $80 per share. All the while they're letting him talk about this nonsense, they don't give a hint about how terrible of an analyst he's been over the last 5 years and how he hasn't made anybody any money with those views and the justification he's using to come up with his price targets. They're silent on that. But as soon as the event happens and now they've bought into it, now all of these index funds have bought into it, now it's changed around. Now they want to convince you, the retail investor, that everything's okay. Tesla does have a bright future. Tesla can go up. To me, that seems like they want to set up the retail investors to be the bag holders when Tesla drops this next week, when the sell the news finally hits. So be careful out there. We're probably not going to drop immediately because that news is going to have an effect. People are still going to think, oh, it's not too late. This is exciting. I want to be a part of that. FOMO is going to be in full effect still. And then it's going to drop. That's my expectation. And I don't think the media is your friend in this. I think the media is playing their part in ensuring that Wall Street wins and the retailers are going to be left holding the bag, waiting for the stock price to come back up, which I do think will happen. I'm a big bull. I think Tesla has a very bright future, but we've got to consider that the only difference from a month ago and now is the S&P inclusion, which other than taking away some of that float and locking it up, the fundamentals of the business haven't quite changed. Now, I do expect that to change come the end of the fourth quarter, but we're not there yet. All of the things that we know that are coming up right now, we knew a month ago when Tesla was trading at $410. Now, I thought that was low back then. I don't think 410 was a realistic value at that time, but it wasn't 650 and it wasn't 695. So I expect that we'll drop under 600. We'll have less of a float out there, which means maybe we don't come down as far as we may have prior to the inclusion, but it is going to be volatile. It is going to be rocky. Now, other than that, there are some macroeconomics that we've got to look out for that can play a part this next week as well. We've got the stimulus talks. Those stimulus talks, if those fall apart, and I think they're likely to fall apart again, those stimulus talks could be bringing the market down, Tesla along with it. Every time we've had stimulus talks fail, Tesla's fallen along with the rest of the market. So that can happen this coming week. We've got COVID that we still have to worry about. The UK is going back into lockdown with a new strain running rampant. Those are major concerns. That can affect the overall market. Now, prior to that, we've got all these vaccines that have been coming out, and they're starting to be deployed. And what that meant in the past, in the most recent past, was that a lot of dollars that were invested in the US, in our market, and in our tech companies, all those dollars kind of went away as they went back home, back over to the UK and back over to Europe, where they're investing in their own markets as those looked like they were going to be opening up. That might change a little bit. We might see money come back into our market as those lockdowns go into effect and as people have to be concerned about the companies in those markets. The US market is still kind of a safe haven. We've got the Fed propping everything up, which they just reinforced last week. As long as the Fed's propping it up, we have a pretty safe outlook moving forward. So I don't expect any major market drops overall, but there could be if COVID continues to expand, if this new strain makes it out of the UK and starts to spread, if this new strain is not treatable with the new vaccine or preventable with the new vaccine. So my prediction, what do I think is going to happen? I think Monday, we're going to see an up day, at least in the morning. I think the morning is going to be bullish. You're going to have funds that are going to be buying in, possibly some index funds still finishing on the buy-in. We're going to have retail traders that are going to get some FOMO. So I expect we'll see it go up in the morning. It may go up all day. It may stay up all day. The rest of the week, maybe look out. A typical week for Tesla is just like the last couple of weeks. Monday up, Tuesday up, kind of, mostly sideways, maybe a little bit down, and then bloody Wednesday. So that could play out again. Wednesday could be the day, depending on how all this other macro news comes into play. But everybody's bullish on Monday. Tuesday, they're kind of wondering, is this going to hold? Is it going to continue? And then Wednesday, everybody's getting out for whatever reason. If you look back at the thumbnails for our videos last week, we had Bloody Wednesday, which is what happened. We had Bounce Back Thursday, which is what happened. And then my thumbnail on Friday was Hold. And sure enough, if you held out to the last 5 minutes of the day on Friday, it paid off. So I don't always have a great track record like that. Obviously, Tesla is its own beast and sometimes does what it wants, but that's my prediction for this week. So my plays this week I've got coming up are geared toward seeing that IV come down, the implied volatility come down. I like to play with options. I think that IV is going to be coming down. I think the share price for Tesla is going to be coming down. It may be gradual throughout the week. It may be all of a sudden. It may even come out next week. But I think my gut feeling says before Christmas, we're going to see that drop come in. How far the correction goes, that's anybody's guess. We don't know what this new floor will provide. It's possible that the media helps to create an environment that's optimistic all the way through Christmas. It's not my expectation though. So we've got to be prepared. We have to be prepared. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this discussion helps you out. I look forward to hearing what your theories are and what you're planning to do this week. Let me know in the comment section below. You can join us in our Discord by by joining as a patron or a YouTube channel member. You can get access to our private Discord and we can have that discussion in there. And if you're in there, remember, I'm giving away a bottle of Tesla Tequila this week. Coming out on Monday, we're going to be giving that away to one of our Discord members. So I hope to see you in there. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.